sit up on it. If you know you're going to sit on a chair or couch, or you're going to do this practice laying down or in restorative positions, you might grab props for yourself in that way and get yourself as set up as feels good for you. All right. Okay. Admit. Hi, friends. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. So this is a pranayama class. We have a few folks in the room here to guide energy and to be together, but I often begin this class just by talking about what prana is. And I think it's interesting because prana is often defined as vital energy. And when we think about breathing practices, we often think of them as just that. Like, obviously our breath gives us energy. We all know that that exchange of oxygen is required for us to be alive, but it's also an entry point. So not to get too in depth in the science, but just because I think it's good to know what tools you're pushing and pulling on. Today we're focusing particularly on doing a practice around anxiety soothing. Hello, can I help you? There's someone here. Hi, Alana. Oh, hey, we're just streaming. Just checking. It's okay. Safe human here. Just checking. All right. So that's actually a good example. So we have responses to triggers as they emerge around us in the world. And that's like just how humans are. It's one of our greatest adaptations to be able to respond to external pressures and to adapt to them and to grow and change around them, etc. But we have sort of this age-old response to trauma and stress. Hello, friends who've just joined us. Just getting started, talking a little bit about the nervous system. Your vagal tone, we talk about fight or flight or rest and digest, those sort of responses that we have to triggers. And sometimes we think about what it would be like to soothe. So we use the part of us that knows how to soothe, that responds to the nervous system. And as humans, as we've ascended from being like little geckos who mostly just freeze, they just sort of play dead if they can, to mammals and a sort of more complex life forms that fight or flight, that run or turn to fight. We have a social complex involved in it. So we look externally to sort of see the responses of others, and we can be soothed externally by others. A lot of it shows up when we think about context of parenting, when you see a toddler fall down and hit their knee, and they might be kind of shocked by this new sensation, but they turn to look at their parent to see how their parent's face responds before they decide to cry, et cetera, and so on. And that's just like a small part of that response. And I think what I want to say is that you can utilize the part of your response that knows how to soothe. You can self-soothe even without external point of view by pushing and pulling on this mechanism. We often measure how good your response is at calming you down by heart rate. And this is where pranayama comes in, right? We're affecting our cardiovascular system from an external cerebral point of view. And that's an entryway in to this response ability, as it were, with our nervous system. Slow down the heart rate, you're more likely to move your nervous system into rest and digest. And then when we put little extra pressures into our experience, when we put little extra pressures into our experience to train our nervous system, they're always self-adjudicated, right? So it's like you might need a 2-pound barbell to train the biceps of your mind. You might need, you know, a little bit more resistance depending on what you're working on. But I would suggest staying on the gentle side of things. So this practice can bring things up. Sometimes we have memories, sometimes we have emotions, sometimes thoughts. And instinct responses even can come up when we do this kind of work, because we are really affecting the body. So I suggest that you always stay on the kind side of things as a resiliency choice, that when you feel like you're sort of getting to a place where the work is happening, where maybe there's a little bit of pressure on your ability to rest and digest or to chill. And I know, at least in my experience, like that's like all the time now, like getting the opportunity to practice this every day, all day, all the time. But that point of view might be a good way to start, that you're only ever going to ask yourself to do as much of that work of toning your response as is right now. And sometimes what we really need is like rest. rest and just to let things be soft and easy. So if you start to do something and it's too much, you can always return to easy breathing. You're welcome to be in a seat. I like to sit up with my mat rolled up about halfway, so I have a little lip, maybe higher if you have a cushion to sit up on, or letting your legs hang down off of a chair, etc., and so on. But you're always welcome to change positions if you get uncomfortable, and always lay on your back or your side, and always shift your seat around. You might work a little stamina of that sitting practice. Try to stay maybe for a little bit and notice where that resistance is, but don't push it too far. No tingling, no pain. All right. Let's get started with the practice by uniting with 3 rounds of the seed sound of Om. If Om isn't for you, you're always welcome to sit with us in presence instead, or perhaps it's not for the space you're in. But Om is a secular chant. We acknowledge the interconnection between all things, and thus our efficacy inside of that network, our power to have effects with what is. Let your hands rest in relative neutral, unless there's a mudra or gesture of import for you, and either close your eyes or downcast your gaze at one spot. Let your shoulders soften, let your tongue hang. To clear and prepare the energetic channel of your body, take a big deep inhale in through your nose, and slow open mouth exhale, HA. Inhale, prepare for Om. Take a long inhale in through your nose. The slow exhale out. Allow the breath to be normal and easy. We begin by paying attention to the physical body. We begin by going to the base of your body where you make contact with the earth or the mat or the prop or the floor. And notice all of the sensations associated with this meeting place with gravity. You might notice texture, temperature, muscle pressure, skin sensation, compression of bone. And it doesn't always have to be about making a pragmatic list. You can notice how it feels without adding that verbal line. Little by slowly, as you start to feel what is subtle as well as what is acute and obvious, allow your awareness to travel slowly upward, inch by inch, through your anatomy, scanning in this way towards the crown of your head. And if you get to something particularly interesting, you might hover your awareness there for a little longer. Remember, you don't have to solve every mystery of yourself in this one energy practice, this one yoga practice. You get to the top of the crown of your head, return to the base of your body, and begin again. Continue this practice until I ask you to change or ask you to stop. And as you continue this process of scanning the body, notice when you drift, when your awareness adds a layer of something else, and you start to consider or imagine or plan or judge. And just return again to observational listening, to awareness. You can observe those tendencies too, without, again, adding any layers to them of judgment or decision making, etc., and so on. And you might be doing that practice again and again, drawing your awareness back to the body over and over and over again like a boomerang. Know that no effort in this vector is wasted, that in fact is the practice of focus. Continue to practice awareness of the physical body, scanning of the physical body. As you scan the physical body, continue to notice if there's opportunities to balance structure with ease. Or maybe things are a little held and you can ask them to soften. Sometimes also things need to be reorganized, or like effort needs to be applied so that you feel like you're stacking yourself at relative equilibrium. I know that sitting with relatively open posture is challenging for me. And so if you start to notice you've slumped down, you don't have to overcorrect, but when it feels right to slowly and mindfully move back towards neutral, do. Wherever you are in your scanning, leave off. Allow your awareness to drift towards your navel, your belly button, and the several inches of universe that dwell behind it. You might just notice if the space feels of any certain quality, how it feels from a physiological point of view. Try to imagine it in 3 dimensions, the back end being your spinous processes, organs in the middle, the front end of the shape of your body. Notice how the natural organic breath you're already taking is affecting the space. You might notice a slight down and out on the inhales, slight drawing in and up on the exhales. You can allow some of your awareness, or all of it, to drift upward towards your heart beating in your chest, your blood moving in your veins. And again, see if you can feel it in 3 dimensions, perhaps imagine it. Notice perhaps how that pulsing of the heart is happening in your entire venous system, your entire arterial system, veins pumping their own pulse throughout the body. And draw some of your awareness to your breath, to the feeling of your lungs filling and filling with air in 3 dimensions, front to back and left to right, top to bottom. Now let some of your awareness travel upward to the base of your throat, where your 2 collarbones meet. And see if you can imagine the several inches of space behind your voice box and your glottis. Now let your awareness travel upward to the roof of your mouth, your hard palate. You can even use your tongue to run over it, and sticking the tip of your tongue up to the top of your mouth and running it around the ridges. Now draw the awareness up to the third eye, the space between the eyebrows and the several inches of universe behind, the brain and the pineal gland, pituitary gland in the front. Three-dimensional space. Now let the awareness travel all the way up to the very top of the crown of your head and the several inches of universe above. And return to the base of the body, the root. Notice how you're touching the floor once more. Through your nostrils, start to breathe a slow inhale in. Through the nose, drag the air through the base of the throat and spread your body wide with breath. And open your mouth to exhale, HA. Good, and start to notice your breath. Draw your awareness solely to your natural and organic breathing. We refer to this as conscious breathing. You can do it through pure awareness. Body awareness is feeling the breath enter in through the tips of the nose, the nostrils, move through the sinuses and down the throat into the lungs and affect the belly, and to fall back up and out in that same direction. You might pay attention to particular spaces like the rib cage or the belly or the throat. Or you might add bija or the seed of mantra or idea or concentration to the breath. The simplest is to think, now I am inhaling in, when you inhale in the eye of your mind. And now I am exhaling out in the eye of your mind when you're exhaling out. Or simply inhale and exhale. And if you want to add a little bit of power of self-identity, self-agency, you might choose so hum. I am back. So hum. And continue this practice of awareness of your breath until I ask you to change or ask you to stop. As you do, continue to seek to balance ease and stability in the physical body and in your awareness of your psychology and emotional state, not by suppressing or fighting, but simply by bearing witness to how things really are. Notice if you speed up the breath or start to manipulate it into a certain pattern or pace. And again, that might happen. That might just be another thing to observe that's going on. As you continue to be aware of your breath, and perhaps as you continue to feed your breath with mantra, if you'd like, you can begin to tune up the manipulation of your breath into the Ujjayi Pranayama. This is the snoring or sighing breath. It sounds like this. And it's classically done in and out through the nose. also called oceanic breathing or psychic breathing, upward, liberating, or victorious breath. It's often done in vinyasa yoga, physical practices. You might have context. Really, the point of view is just to breathe as long and slow, as smooth and deep as you can. Continue this practice of ujjayi or of conscious deep breathing until I ask you to change or ask you to stop. As you continue this practice, notice how things are. Notice if there's any habitual tension patterns that creep in. Maybe the eyebrows scrunch or the backs of the teeth close, or the shoulders rise. And just seek to remind yourself that you have agency to change, that you can manage those things by asking for softness, even if the response of tension has been built in righteously over time and experience in life. And do it out of kindness, kindness to yourself, not the kind of management that comes with violence or judgment. It's simply a simple resetting again and again, and observation of your ability to take action towards your own healing. And as you continue to do this practice, I'm going to offer a little bit of visualization, which you're welcome to use or welcome to leave. And the visualization is to imagine your rib cage as this three-dimensional umbrella. I like to imagine my umbrella is made out of sort of clear gossamer, like the images of connective tissue under a microscope. Very shiny and full of like opaline crystals. You can imagine yours however you'd like. But every time you inhale, imagine the umbrella opening. You know, the umbrella gets to that open place and it kind of springs to open, that sensation of openness. You might imagine the light of your Manipura chakra, of your navel energy center, turning on and brightening up and shining downwards. And every exhale, you might notice or imagine that closing of your umbrella and give it a little bit of dampening of the light, right? Not turning it off. Every time it'll get bigger and bigger and be more and more. So you're turning on the brightness. You might imagine the brightness as golden light or orangey yellow light. Usually the first color image that you get is a good one to stick with. Just imagine this sort of opening and brightening from underneath, from a supported place. If you're just joining in, we're doing Ujjayi Pranayama with a guided visualization of opening the umbrella of the rib cage with the inhale and turning on the light of the navel chakra to shine downward underneath the umbrella. And using the exhale just to let the umbrella soften down into closed and letting the light remain, but just dim or flicker a little bit like a candle reacting to the wind. And we'll continue this practice for a few minutes more. If you need to, you can always adjust a little, add some circular wiggles as you go, but continue to stay connected to your breath. And as you continue this practice, you might also utilize a little bit of soft Uddiyana Bandha on the exhales, gathering the navel in and back to continue this feeling of brightness and power in the center of the body. Let it be an action not of containment or of sort of hiding the navel, but instead of drawing its power inward towards the self of the spine. About 10 more rounds of this breath. Wherever you are in the cycle of your breath, exhale the air you have or remain at empty. And through the nose, take a big deep inhale in, slow. Open mouth, exhale, HA. Inhale in through the nose. Open mouth, HA. Ujjayi in through your nose. Ujjayi out through your nose. And take your hands, please. You can flutter your eyes open if they're closed. And bring the hands in front of you so the palms face you. You can start with like your middle fingertips touching and your elbows wide. And then bring the right hand behind the left and bring your two thumb tips to touch. And then bring the palms of your hands to hover an inch in front of your navel or your belly or your solar plexus. See if you can roll your shoulder blades down your back in order to turn your elbows out enough that you feel wide in the front and wide in the back of your ribs. You're welcome to tuck the chin a little if the back of your neck or jaw feel like they're doing a lot. Just take a moment to notice, to breathe as you will. See if you detect any sensations between your navel and your hands. You might not. Good. Flutter your eyes open, and on your next inhale, take your arms out and up to a wide V, palms forward or up. You can lift your chest up. On your exhale, wrap your right arm under your left, round and hug your hands towards the back of your shoulder blades. And then inhale, arms out and open again. Lift your chest up, maybe gaze up. And exhale your left arm under this time. And go at your own pace. Do 2 more on each side. You can also bring the hands, palms to press in front of you as an alternative if wrapping feels like too much. And always stay on a limited range of motion to what feels kind and thriving. You don't have to overdo it. Move the breath in and out as you take action. And the next time you take your arms out and up, stay with your arms up. And overhead, bring your hands to meet. You can interweave your fingers or grab wrist to wrist. Grab for your hands. Sometimes it's nice to have the hands facing the same way or to turn the palms up. We're just going to make circles with the elbows. So up above you, you can make little figure eights. You can go back and forth. Move your chin. As we work into solar plexus, what we're really doing here is connecting the energy center of where you feel agency, sovereignty, power, confidence. It's a part of you that knows connection, unity, love, in the center of the heart, the ability to compassionately make space for all realities. And working into the shoulders, these meridians and nadis run down from the heart and lungs into the fingertips. So shoulder tightness makes a lot of sense when you're stressed out or cut off in that sense of connection. If you'd like, you can do a few more with your elbows grabbed. If that range of motion feels good, front and back, around and around. You can get your spine involved, roll around a little bit. All right, inhale, take your arms straight up, drop your shoulders straight down, and slow on your exhale, let your arms travel down towards the ground, tracing the external wingspan of your body. And let the hands return to relative neutral. All right, we're going to do square breathing, which means we'll inhale for the same amount as holding, and then we'll exhale for the same amount of holding. So if you've never done this before, it's a form of sama-vritti, of staying fluctuating the breath. Often we call it square and we work in 4s. I usually start in 3s and work up to 5s and 6s. And it's just a way to balance our nervous system. We inhale, we hold it full, we exhale, we hold it empty, all for the same amount, and it makes a square. If you're visual, you can even imagine the square in the backs of your eyelids as you go, making and forming. The idea of breath holding is something that you want to be very kind with. You're really pausing or floating your breath anytime you're stopping it. You don't need to clamp down. And if it does feel like too much to hold for the length I'm counting at any time, let it go. If it feels like it's okay to work that sort of muscle, as it were, then you might hang out. I promise I won't suddenly jump to 10 counts or anything like that. All right, I like to adjust my legs a little bit before I do these things. If you need to take your legs out and move them around, do, or sit in a different way. And then we'll meet one another back with eyes closed or gaze cast down. Have one spot on the earth in front of you. You might also close your eyes like 4/5 of the way, etc. So there's some light coming in, but you feel relatively private. Exhale the air you have. Let yourself get empty. Take a long, slow inhale in through your nose. And open mouth exhale each day. Inhale in through the nose. This time out like a snake, hiss. Ujjayi in through the nose. Ujjayi out through the nose. And one more regular Ujjayi, inhale in. Exhale through the nose to prepare for Samavriti, for the square breath. Same Ujjayi form, breathe in through your nose for a count of 1, 2, 3. Soft as you can, retain the breath for 1, 2, 3. Slow, exhale through the nose for 3. Ujjayi form 2, 1. And hold softly at empty for 3, 2, 1. Inhale nose, 1, 2, 3. Soft, retain, 1, 2, 3. Exhale through the nose for 3, 2, 1. Remain an empty for 3, 2, 1. Inhale in through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Retain, 1, 2, 3. Exhale through the nose for 3, 2, 1. Maintain empty for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold, 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Float it, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, slow and kind, 2, 3, 4. Soft, hold it empty, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain 4, 3, 2, 1. Please continue at this count or your own. If you start to feel at ease with 4 count and want to go up to 5, slowly gradate your way up as long as you'd like to. I ask that when you hold it full, you allow yourself to absorb with this idea of pausing, space, of the space between things. When you hold it empty, you allow yourself again to be with the transition between 2 things. They might feel different, like the holding it full might feel like the space between idea and creation. The space at empty might feel like the space between this life cycle and the next one. You might experiment with just noticing what it is to place your focus on Antara and Bahya Kumbhaka, the holding it full and empty, and to allow that space to be, in fact, Akasha, a space you're creating. You can fill your mind with the image of literal stars of cosmic space at both as well, if you're an image-based person. And please continue this practice until I ask you to change or ask you to stop. As you continue this practice, just notice this ability to transition, to practice transitioning and fluctuating again and again, and to be able to observe this entry point into the change of all things via the change of your breath. Almost like every breath makes a new portal to experience this reality. Each breath keeps you grounded in this body, in this samsara, in this lifetime. Even if your awareness draws back again and again to that one muscle in your back that is tight, that one spot in your neck that knots up, let that also be true. Let your awareness of those things be part of your practice, and be kind to them. Be kind with yourself. At the suggestion of other wise teachers, I put forth the idea that every act of self-healing and care might be a radical one, a revolution that begins on an individual level, and that is very clearly needed in the world right now. Wherever you are in your breath, exhale or remain at empty. Take an inhale in through your nose, long and slow. Open mouth, exhale, HA. Inhale in through your nose. Mayan's breath, Simbasana, HA. Ujjayi in through your nose. Ujjayi out through your nose. Flutter your eyes open. So let's move the legs around a little bit. So take your legs out long in front of you. And you can use your hands on your legs to pat. You can tap. Tapping tends to be a nice way to sort of work into our lymphatic system. And you can do gentle brushing. Brush down your legs a little bit. You can take it up into your side and your back if you like. You can pat yourself down a little bit. Pat out the arms and the shoulders if you notice something is feeling particularly tight. All right, golden. And take your feet like about 3 feet apart or wider than the mat, if you like, and bend your knees. And bring your hands behind you. You can place your fingers either way. Let's do some wide windshield wipering back and forth. You can go one at a time. You can do both at once. You can flex your ankles if you feel like your knees hug or anything like that. Yeah, just roll them in and out a little bit. Good. Move them around. All right, golden. And as you're ready, return towards sitting. You can always choose a different seat. I think I'm going to modify mine a little bit. For our last breath exercise before we head into some resting, in which I'll do a little bit of guided relaxation, we're going to take the Brahmari breath, or the buzzing breath. And the Brahmari breath is actually with sound we vocalize. And I'm going to offer that you might experiment. Once you're doing it, you're going to be doing it. You won't hear me doing it. So you'll have to count it for yourself, right? Especially those of you at home. If it starts to get wild, I will sort of bring up that we're ending so you know. But we'll count 13 Brahmari breaths down from 13 to 1. Brahmari breath is a humming. The hum is generally located in the sinuses. We're trying to work into Anya. But my suggestion is you let yourself change in pitch, kind in your vocal cord, go low, go high, stay in a reasonable range. We're trying to use that vibration to massage from an internal point of view, to sort of move the echo chambers from our centers upward, from the heart upward. Cool? All right. And I'll also offer that there's a couple ways you can do this. You can take your pointer fingers and close the little flappies in front of your ears. Some people have to just stick their finger right on in there. You can also choose to do this with elbows wide, that suggestion of opening the rib cage. That takes some effort. You can also hang your elbow down. Sometimes it's nice to go back and forth between closing the ears and opening them. If you've never done it before, it sounds like this. I'm exaggerating volume so you can hear me, right? It's just humming. It doesn't need to be that loud, as it were, just loud enough that you sort of have an experience of the vibrational quality. We'll do 13 of them, move them around. And my suggestion, if you can, is to think about vibrating the center of your heart with the sound that you're making. Sometimes even tucking your chin and looking down so that you're vibrating the sound straight down can be of help. So give it a go. You can rest your hands in neutral or bring your hands to your cheeks to prepare to close your ears. Start with a regular exhale, close your eyes or look down at one spot in front of you. And take an inhale in through your nose. Exhale out through your nose. Long, slow Ujjayi inhale, prepare for Brahmari breath. Close your ears and begin. And if you're still completing your Brahmari breath, allow that to be true. The next time you fall to silence, you can let hands fall. Scrunch your face around a few times with closed eyes. Scrunch up your eyebrows and your nose. Make your face a little bit small. You can turn your face all the way to the right. Don't turn your head. Just turn your facial muscles towards the right side and towards the left side. Expand and close them a little bit. Lift and drop the eyebrows. And then once again, take your hands in front of you with your elbows wide. You can start with middle fingertips touching, and this time bring the left hand behind the right and touch your thumbs on top, and bring your hands directly in front of your heart. And see if you can let your heart lift up and your shoulders soften down, but your elbows move away from one another a little. So there's some space there, and just notice what it is to sort of receive what is projected forward from the center of your heart. Soften the face, soften the hands, soften the belly. Exhale the air you have in your body. And take a big deep inhale in through your nose. And open mouth, exhale. Let your hands fall. We're going to set up for resting. So you're welcome to remain in a seat or lean against a wall. You're welcome to lie down on your back or your side. Chelsea, would you like to use my mat to rest? It's been sterilized. Okay. Just so you have a little more room than your pillow. And as you rest, I'm just going to turn off a few more of the lights in this room. I'm just going to I've been thinking a lot about this poem. I used to, for years, teach yoga, and at the end of class, I always read a poem. I love poetry. I think it gives us a way in, but if it's not for you, you're always welcome to tune it out. I'm thinking a lot about this particular poem in this time. It's by Pablo Neruda, and it's much more beautiful in Spanish, I'll say. I don't have that skill set, so I'll read it in English. But this poem is sort of about what it's like when everything has to pause, or what it would be like to imagine a world where everything did pause. And so I'll just offer, you're welcome in resting to draw your energy or awareness to your heart and to your belly, or just to your experience in general. You can always rest your hands on your body, anywhere you'd like to draw soothing emphasis to. And just remembering that you're powerful enough to be with how things are. I'm going to read this poem and leave you to rest for a few minutes. And when the time comes to come back up and out, we will end a few minutes late, of course, but when the time comes to come up and out, I will sing a chant and bring a singing bowl to call you out. And even then, you'll take your time. I'll lead you out after chanting. But just so you know, if you're looking at a screen, how will I know when it's over? Sound will happen again. So if you know you just want to rest, and not complete class with us, you're always welcome to just turn your sound off too. And let's take one last breath together. Exhale the air you have in your lungs. And take a slow inhale in through your nose. Feel your rib cage spread, your belly spread, your heart and your center spread wide. And open the mouth to exhale. Now we will count to 12, and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment, without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hand. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade, doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt the sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now I'll count up to 12, and you keep quiet, and I will go. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Munaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navadi Tamastu Mavit Vashavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Little by slowly begin to bring your awareness back to your felt sense of power and presence in the here and now. Draw your awareness downward and inward to the sound of your beautiful heart beating in your chest and your natural organic breath falling in and out. Slowly in your own timing, as the pathway back towards karmic wakeful action emerges, begin with your breath. Ask it to be a little bit purposeful again, long and slow, smooth and deep, just a little bit, enough to rise back towards waking awareness. And as you find impulse and instinct to move your body or to take action, to stretch and yawn, feel free to follow those actions and emergence. And in the next 5 or so breaths, if you're on your back, you might pick a course to draw your knees into your chest and to roll onto your favorite side. Taking this time in transition to practice gratitude as a means of liberation from the blindness of privilege. Practice gratitude for the vast and long time contributing factors to your unique dharma, your process, your work in this lifetime. You might consider the earth that nourishes you and the cosmic reality that created that planet and that earth and this circumstance in the first place. The ancestors that came before yours and those of this here in Seattle, Duwamish and Salish land that we occupy, were the ancestors of the land you are in if you are not here. You might consider teachers of all kinds, knowledge of all lineages that has come to you, your knowledge of experience in the school of hard knocks, and the communities and collaborators that witness and support you, the obstacles and difficulties that challenge, refine, and strengthen you in your own willingness to practice, to be in process, to turn towards what is again and again with power, love, and peace. And when you're ready, we'll finish in a seat if you're joining us. And draw yourself up with your top hand. That's a traditional chant in the lineage of Krishnamacharya. It's about togetherness. The word together comes up a lot. The overarching meaning is, may we together be protected. May we together know joy. May our work together be brilliant, particularly to the betterment of all mankind. And may we not dispute or fight amongst one another. May our work lead us to universal and cosmic peace. So thank you for the practice. If you wish, you can fold your hands in Anjali Mudra, the meeting place between seemingly disparate forces, or hold the idea in your mind that things that seem polar and opposite, that seem unreconcilable, have a meeting place that we understand the compassion that lies in the heart. Thank you for your time, your energy, and your effort. If you wish, you can bring your thumbs to the third eye, acknowledging that your awareness must bow to the power that lives with your compassionate heart. If you wish, you can bow to yourself to seal in your practice. Thank you. I'm going to go address the screen, but thank you so much for coming and doing this practice. It's so meaningful to me to be able to have our hearts beating. I talked last time about quantum entanglement, but really the fact that we're all doing this over the different spaces and time is really like kind of radical, that we're able to be together in a separate stance. All right, everybody over here, you're still hanging out and hanging in. If you're still resting, feel free. I'm going to allow everybody in who got kicked out, perhaps. All right, friends. Oh, in the chat, what's going on? Thank you. All right, Golden. Love you all. All right. I'm going to